that's all general business? Mr. Barton?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Commissioner agenda items, and for whatever reason mine's first, and I will start there. Request board consideration and approval of salary and benefit package of newly appointed county administrator, Mr. David Edwards. And y'all all have that in your packages. And I was tasked by the board to meet with him. I did so with the attorney. We met on one occasion and discussed all his requirements, and what you see there before you is what has been proposed, and it's pretty simple. And I didn't talk to him again when I wrote the agenda item to make sure we'd gotten it all right, but the bottom line is the salary will be $82,825. That's the minimum, and we all had agreed to not more than 10% above that minimum, which the minimum was $75,300, so that brought his starting salary to $82,825. The benefits would be the same as other county employees. The start date would be October 1. Family insurance, in other words, that would be fully paid. He would not make a contribution to that, but that would be a fully paid amount. Short-term disability insurance, county cell phone, county vehicle, our vehicle allowance. We talked more about that today, and he has determined that he would like a county vehicle, vice a county vehicle allowance, and agreement for the county to defend Mr. Edwards, which is only makes sense for any actions that may arise out of his official duties, which is the norm for this kind of position.
Mr. Chairman, the only thing I have grief with is any benefits, and I said this in my first meeting when I was sworn in, any benefits above what anybody else is getting. So if we're paying for his insurance premium, we're not paying for any employee sitting over there's insurance premium. And I don't know the short-term disability, why is that there?
That's in the event, that was a requirement that he asked, in the event he had a heart attack or became disabled and couldn't work, that this would pay his salary.
Do they have that?
No.
Well,
I
that's my opinion.
This is what y'all asked me to do.
Yes, sir. I
I've
appreciate
done that. Don't kill the messenger.
No.
If we want to change it, we'll change it, but Mr. Edwards is here, and he'll have to agree to that, and then we need to move on.
That's what I'd like to see personally, is whatever benefit he has, the employees have. I mean, I think that'll foster, some morale.
So you're saying that the family insurance, he needs to make the same contribution as every other employee?
Yes.
And he doesn't, and he wouldn't receive the short-term disability insurance.
And I advocated for David, so I don't have any hard feelings for him, but I want to be consistent and fair.
Okay.
That's what I said, and that's what I'm sticking to.
Mr. Edwards, can you come up and we'll negotiate right here and get this settled? I hate to do this to you, but that's the only way we can do it, because we can't meet in private with you and each other. So, is that acceptable?
That may not be what y'all want. So,
well, I want to ask him if that's acceptable to him first, and if you say no, then we'll have to debate it.
Right. No, I think so. The reason for the short-term disability was in other positions I've held, is that was just part of the overall package that got, and it's a good benefit. But I understand if it's not offered, I don't have a problem with that
Okay.
part of it.
and I noticed there's no severance pay, which I think, is that correct?
That's correct.
I think that's good.
I would like to say also that basically David was my choice, but I agree with Randy that you'll have to live with your salary, and you get the same thing that everybody else has. I think that was a good decision.
And we have no cell phone allowance like was in the past, so his phone is subject, or will be subject to public records requests and everything, just like mine, yours, or anybody else's.
It doesn't matter where you have an allowance or not, they can get your phone.
Well, I understand, if you're talking, yeah.
You have a cell phone policy that he'll be
Right.
required just like any other employee to follow.
This is absolutely fine with me.
So I move to accept with the amendment.
Which is that he contribute to the health insurance like every other employee, and that there be no
The county will not provide.
short-term disability insurance.
Correct.
So I don't know if anybody's done the math, but I don't know what that brings the total to now. It's a different total than I had here. I had a total of $112,000, that was with FRS and all, $112,566, that'll be substantially less now.
Now, the FRS is just,
Retirement.
this is the first state check I've ever received, by the way, but, well, I shouldn't say that. Retirement, with retirement benefits. But anyway, that's what the state contributes, or that's what the county contributes to his retirement, right?
Yes.
Just like they contribute to everybody else's
Yes.
retirement.
Yes.
Okay. So it's nothing special. I know that the previous administrator had a special deferred comp benefit where we paid all this extra money into that.
There was lots of difficulty with that.
Second.
I do, now it's been second, I do want to raise the issue, we're providing we're providing you a vehicle, but you've stated that you don't want, we're not buying a new vehicle, you're gonna take one of the vehicles from our fleet.
That's right.
I talked to the attorney today about one of the new vehicles we have, and we're gonna ascertain can that be used, and if not, we have another one for him, so
Yeah.
there'll be a available.
I talked to Mr. Edwards also about a vehicle, and my suggestion to Mr. Edwards was that he take a vehicle that's whatever, as long as it had cooling and heating.
Because hopefully he'll be out around the county quite a bit more than previous. And
I think it'll be a truck. Or you get in
I
a
think that's
truck.
what you're looking at.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Stewart.
We're gonna give him a beat-up station wagon.
Fine. I don't, the only thing I care is that he's cool and he's got heat.
Might have an
vinyl
SUV,
floors.
small SUV from housing,
They all have
for building.
No CD player.
Okay, any more discussion?
There's no cruise,
Ms. Arts?
cars are horrible.
Yeah, I guess I was surprised, because when you were saying you weren't gonna do any benefits other than what any other employees get, I thought that meant the vehicle was out.
I think
but
he
now
has to have
it's-
a vehicle to do his job.
Yeah.
He is the county
We
commissioner.
have a lot of,
We have a lot of employees who do have vehicles.
Hopefully, he's not gonna be sitting around in his office.
I guess maybe what Ms. Arts is saying, and let's be clear on this, is this vehicle assigned to him and he drives it home every night? Or is it, what, David, I mean, I know when
think,
Parrish was here, I think he drove his truck home and he drove it to work.
and I think it should go
But you
home.
can't
I
use it for vacations or.
told him that, we explained that
can't-
to him today. He
you
can't haul
can't
his
drive the
family
truck.
around, he can't go to the
I'm
grocery
fine with
store.
that. That's the same thing I had when I was project manager over there.
But
Same
he,
thing.
but if he doesn't take it home, it's foolish to even do it, because I'm gonna have the expectation
right.
that if I call him in the middle of the night, he's gonna get in it and go wherever
Yeah.
that is.
I agree,
And-
100%.
That's not a special benefit, that's a required benefit. He has to have that
I
automobile.
just want to make that clear.
Yeah.
I think it's something that we're giving him. I don't know that it's
think it's
it's
a
not a
perk.
requirement of the job that he has.
I don't think it's a perk. I mean, the man's on call, just like Parrish was. We have a hurricane or something. I don't think it's a perk, I'm
I
sorry.
think we're gonna agree to it, and I don't want, well, never mind, I don't wanna go down this tangent.
Just don't. Yes, ma'am.
I didn't
Go
mean to
ahead.
interrupt you or
I'll
whatever.
finish when you're done.
Okay, well, thanks for clarifying that, because I thought when we were just doing same as all the other employees, that was out. But, anyway, I'm concerned that, given the finances of the county and the fact that other employees are taking furloughs and whatever, we're taking an entry-level administrator and giving him a 10% raise. And, I'm sorry, Tim Barden is doing the same job for $75,300 minus 23%. And, I'm sorry, now I had proposed an alternative that made sense to me, is go with the minimum salary and do performance bonuses. For example, if he can reduce our energy expenditures by $100,000, he can get a $10,000 bonus. But then we know where that $10,000 is coming from, because he saved us a $90,000. This way, what you're saying is, in addition to paying Tim, we've got to come up with another $10,000, $20,000. And, it doesn't, for all the talk about cutting, this is inconsistent in my
Thank you.
opinion. So I'm just explaining, I'm not gonna support it.
Let me say one thing.
Let her finish. Let her finish, please.
I would be,
Oh, I thought you were
I would be fully prepared to support the minimum with incentive bonuses so that he could earn more, but, not just a 10% raise off the top.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, I'm sorry, I thought you were done. At that same meeting where I said he should get the same benefits, I said, let's set the salary at the minimum, and everybody said, no, we need to do minimum at least 10% more. I don't know if you remember that discussion. This is what we decided, this is what I agree with, that's right.
I was no more than.
That's what we said, was that to find a good employee that we would want here, that gave us a range, not just the minimum, but gave us a range to work with. This is what David's asked for. Here's where, I agree with you, Ms. Arch, but David has been very cooperative and he could have very easily come in here and demanded a severance package. He could have demanded a lot of other things. Now, I don't mean we had to pay him. We could have sat up here and said, no, we'll go to the next candidate, but he didn't. And he said he stood here tonight and took some more cut. In fact, he's going to have to pay into his health insurance and not getting this other thing he wanted. But so I think that's. I agree with you. He's coming in higher than the lower end. But I'm expecting that we're going to get a good man that's going to do a good job, and he's going to have a big learning curve, and he's going to hit the deck running, and he's going to have to work some long and hard hours to do that. And I think he's already prepared to do that. I know he and I have talked about it in length, and I'm prepared to assist him as much as I can to help him achieve and be successful. And I hope that everybody else will, and I think everybody will. So I'm fine with that, with the salary where we're at. Jared?
I'm going to, if I can, I may jump ahead of you a little bit just while David's standing here on my.
We're not
okay.
going to entertain that right now. But this
I thought it might be appropriate, and I'll leave this to your discretion. After Randy made a suggestion, we let David respond. I don't know if you want to, after Lynn's suggestion, let David respond.
David?
Y'all have done a good job responding for me.
No,
No, I'm fine.
I mean, I don't want to put you in an awkward
Right.
situation. We already got you in an awkward situation.
Right.
And I appreciate you standing up and offering that. You could have easily said no.
Right.
And we would have had to fought it out here, but
I think knowing when not to talk is probably as important
Yes.
as knowing when to.
I agree.
Okay.
So, any more discussion? All for the motion?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-1. Thank you.